Okay, here's the scenario. You have 30 seconds to get out of your house. 30 seconds, all you got. What are you going to grab? You got your family, you got your pets. You got time to grab one thing. What's it going to be? Come on back. We'll see you in a second. Welcome back to Muskrat Gulch. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we get into the video, and I think it's a very important video, I want to tell you how it came to be. First of all, one of our viewers asked me to do this video, and I've been putting it off. But last week, I had a coffee with a friend of mine, and I related a story to him that became the impetus for this video. So I'm going to tell you the story. And I moved to Nova Scotia in 1998. And I was looking for a house, and one came available on the Salmon River, probably 100 yards maybe from the river itself. It was a big old farmhouse. And it needed more work than I was willing to invest at the time. So I walked away from it. Now jump ahead a couple of years, and Nova Scotia got hit by what was known as Hurricane Juan. Excuse me. That would be in September, October. That winter, February I think it was, we got nailed by what became known as White Juan, which dumped like 4 feet of snow on us in 24 hours. And the following spring, when the snow melted and the ice broke up, the Truro area got hit by what became known as Wet Juan. Here's a picture. In case you forget, here's what the Bible Hill area looked like during Wet Juan. Okay, right around that time, the Truro newspaper had a story, back when the Truro newspaper actually had interesting stories in it. A man was standing at his kitchen sink, and he looked out the window, and he noticed the Salmon River was higher than it should have been. But he didn't think much of it. Back to doing his dishes. And when he looked back up a minute later, the water's in his backyard. He yelled at his wife to get in the car. He went and grabbed the dog or something. And by the time he got to the yard, the water was up to his knees. And the fire department ended up having to do a water rescue to get them out. And for the next week or two, they couldn't come back to their house. And all they had was what they had in their pockets at the time and what they were wearing. So it turned out the house that he was living in was the one that I had looked at. So my buddy's sitting there listening to the story, and then I said to him, if you had to get out of your house that quickly, your wife, your daughter, and your dog are in the truck, and you've got 30 seconds to pick something out, one thing in your house, what would you take? And he sat back in the chair, and he thought about it, and he could see his mind working, and he's looking at the ceiling, he's looking around the room, and finally he told me what he'd take. It doesn't matter what he chose. It makes absolutely no difference. I said, it's too late, bud. Time's up. You took too much time to think what you're going to take. You can't do that. If they tell you that you need out right now, whether it's a forest fire or a flood, whatever, you need out right now, you can't stop to think about it. And he says to me, what would you take? That's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer in this house. This is what Trace would grab. Weighs 21 pounds. Now, give me a second here. This is mine. Mine weighs 34 pounds. And if we had our choice, if we could only grab one, this is the one we grab. We both know it. We would, if I wasn't home and she could only grab one, she'd grab this one. And we're going to go through this pack today. This is our go bag. This is the single most important thing in this house. No question, hands down. So, we're going to go through it from the outside, work our way around, and then get inside it. It's not as comprehensive as you think. There are certain things. Everybody is going to have their own idea for a bag. There's all different names for this: bug out bag, go bag, good standing for get out of Dodge. Some call it an inch bag. I'm never coming home. I plan to come home. So everybody's got their own idea of what to call it. Everybody has their own idea of what should go in it. But there's certain things that should be in every bag. And that is combustion, a way to make fire, cover, a way to get out of the weather. There should be cordage in there. There should be cutting tools. Beyond that, it's personal preference. Now, 34 pounds is a lot of weight to carry. So I got a friend that is a fountain of wisdom. He is a former special operations soldier, and he's got these little tidbits that he just throws around every once in a while. And here's one that I find very, very important when it comes to packing your bag, and that is pack light, freeze at night. Speaks for itself. So 34 pounds is a heavy bag to carry, especially over a long distance, but you will reap the rewards of that as time goes by. Remember, this is a 72-hour bag. This bag is not meant to help you survive off the land forever. That's not what it's for. It's to help you to get from point A to point B and survive on that trip. In my case, we know where we have to go. We know that on a good day, if we can go by road, we can be there in an hour and a half or 2 hours. If we have to go cross country, then that's going to take more time, and that's what this is for. All right, so we're going to do a walk around to the bag, and I'll show you what we got. We'll go around the outside and then get into it. First thing on the outside, everybody should have one. A Leatherman. I don't really care what brand you have. I swear by Leatherman. Mine's a Sidekick. It's not the most expensive. It's not the most comprehensive, but it's a multi-tool, and it will do the job. And one thing it's got, aside from the pliers, is a knife. And you can never have too many cutting tools. Remember that. Okay, on here, I can do just this here. Shovel. This is a pretty cool shovel. I don't think they make these anymore. I got this from Atlantic Knives in Dartmouth. I'll put a link down there for you. This gives you two cutting tools. These blades will cut paper. They'll also cut a 3-inch tree root. It's also got a saw, weighs about 3 pounds, got a glass-filled handle. It can be used for a multitude of chores, and I won't be without it. Okay. Side pocket. Life straw. This is what we carry right now, but I think we're going to change this out. We'll stick with life straw, I think, but they make a better one now. It'll do like 10,000 liters of water or something, but it doesn't have the hose or the siphon. So I think we're going to switch to a different one, but for now, this works. You're going to find in my bag that I might be finding little food and things everywhere. A couple of space blankets. There's probably 3 or 4 in here. You never go wrong. They don't weigh anything. You're never going to fold it back up to get inside here. So it's almost a one-time use. You could do it, but for the amount of weight that they take up in your bag, have more than one. A couple of protein bars. When I buy protein bars, I always go for the ones with the most calories. I'm not looking at it at this point to diet or anything else. I'm looking at calories now. Remember, when you're on the road, when you're on a hike that's important like this, you can't say, I don't need to eat, I'll just get there and worry about it, because you're going to be working hard. You need the calories. A power bar and a soldier fuel. Put these back in as we go, I think. These are things, I should say, that never ever get used. We don't steal from our go bag. If we're going on a hike, we have another bag that we take on hikes with us. This isn't it. My own theory is, if you take from it, eventually you'll forget to put it back. And the day that you forget to put it back is the day that you're going to need it. So we do not borrow from our pack. All right, up here. Wet wipes. You are going to need them. Trust me. A headlamp. This is a Fenix. My God, it's bright light. This is probably the best $100 that we've ever spent on a flashlight. Teresa might argue she's got an odor light or something that she loves, but brighter and more lumens. And this here is mainly just personal stuff like deodorant, toothbrush, and stuff. But there's one thing in here. Excuse me. Thumb drive. Thumb drive that's wrapped in a baggie and taped up very well. What's on the thumb drive? Every important document in this house. The deed to the house, insurance to the house, car insurance, car ownership, life insurance, birth certificates, passports, the dog's health records, important phone numbers, and important addresses, and important photographs that we have in the house. All of it's on here. Every important piece of paper that's in this house is copied on the thumb drive. I have one and she has one. There's more reasons to have this than you can imagine. So every important document in the house is on the thumb drive, and it's updated regularly. So that's basically what's in here: toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, and that. Let's look at the bottom. You can't have too many knives, and it seems like I collect these folding carpet knives. Cutting tools. Okay. This one here is going to have matches in it, matches in a striker. Don't keep all of your fire-making supplies in one place. Lighter. Okay. Saw, we need a new one of those, but it still works. Signal whistle, it's got a compass on it, but I wouldn't bet my life on a compass. It's got a whistle. It's got matches in it, and a bit of cord. Never have too much cord. A knife sharpener. Another one of these match holders, waterproof match holder. But this one has 4 feet of Gorilla Tape wrapped around it, 2 feet wrapped around the lid. Tape to the lid. Tape to the lid is 4 quarters. Yes, there are still payphones out there. Inside here is $100 in 5s and 10s. I chose 5s and 10s because if I have to take somebody here, I don't need people to know how much money I have, so I don't want 20s and things. If I have to make a deal with somebody for a ride or whatever, I'm only pulling $15 or $20 out of my pocket. That might get us where we need to go, but I'm not going to show them all that I have. Paracord. The paracord that I use has that extra strand in it. If you cut it down, you'll see 7 strands of white fiber. Each one of those can be used as fishing line or single strand cordage. So you've got 7 times whatever you've got here. In my case, it's 100 feet here. It's a little bit less here because I've used some of it. But the 8th strand, the red one, is also fire tinder. That is. So that's pretty good cord. You never carry cordage. And I've got 100 feet of bank line. Bank line or mariner's line is lighter than paracord, but it has something else going. The paracord is 550-pound paracord. This is about 250 pounds or so, but it is tarred. Now the tar doesn't come off in your hand or anything, but when you tie a knot with this stuff, that knot stays. It doesn't slip. So that's why I use that. So that's the bottom pouch. Pouch over there getting comfortable on her chair. She missed the deer. Top pouch. When you're out in the weather and it starts to rain, you've probably got 2 or 3 minutes at the most before you're wet, before you're soaked. Now, depending on the climate, when you get wet, you're either miserable or you're worrying about hypothermia. So you want to get out of the weather as soon as you can. And that's where the top pouch comes in. It's at the top for a reason. Okay, first of all, an SOL survival blanket. That'll hold 2 people. It's basically just a Mylar blanket with an outer coating on it to make it waterproof. But that will keep you warm. 2 contractor garbage bags. I'll explain that one in a minute. An 8x10 nylon tarp. Yeah, it takes up a lot of room, but time and money and space well spent. Tent pegs. We use titanium tent pegs. Yes, I can cut sticks when I'm in the woods if I need to for pegs, but for the weight and time, this is the cat's ass. There's no screwing around with it. You've got them in the ground immediately. So the titanium, they don't weigh much of anything. That doesn't weigh 4 ounces probably. Not, I would say that's getting it some credit there. My ridge line. This is a fast deployable ridge line. This here is what allows me to set up my tarp and get out of the rain in under a minute. It's already done. One day I will set up the tarp for you and show you how the fast deployable ridge line works. It just makes sense. There's one in my bag, there's one in Teresa's bag. This is what gets you out of the weather quick. And again, I used the paracord for the line itself and bank line here to secure the tent or the tarp. On the outside of the bag, I have zip ties in 3 or 4 different sizes. Grab this so I don't knock it over. On this side, I have an old military ammo pouch that contains my fire starter and fire kit. Fire kit. It's in a waterproof box, and here's what I got. A lighter, always a lighter. A ferro rod and striker. The upside to these two things, they'll lighten almost any weather. This will give you spark in a pouring rain or a snowstorm or anything. My own tinder. These are cotton pads combined for $1. I think they're $1.25 at the dollar store. You get 100 of them. What I do is I soak them in barbecue lighter fluid, let them dry out some, and then dip them in paraffin wax. And each one of these will burn for 6.5 minutes. So I've got 6 of them in here. Stormproof matches and a striker. The striker's in plastic, so I'm not going to get fire in my pack by them rubbing together. The striker's in a baggie that's sealed up. 3 pieces of tinder. These are wax and lighter fluid coated. And last but not least, a small Fresnel lens. So if we have sunlight, we've got fire. So that's my fire kit. And there will be lighters throughout the pack. You've seen some already. You can't, remember the old saying, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So you can't have too many ways to start a fire. It's just important. It's the most important thing in my view. Fire is a lifesaver. It's a killer if you don't. I have an IFAC, an individual first aid kit. Teresa has a slightly smaller one. This one here is a pull away, so you don't need to take your pack if you just need the first aid kit. Anyway, that's that. We'll go through that someday if you want. Flashlight. You can't have too many flashlights. Back when the World Trade Center was hit, I bought this one, a Sentry. It doesn't have the chip for light, but I love the light. It's heavy. It's aluminum. So it's been around since 2001, and I'm not giving it up. This pouch doesn't have very much in it at all. A Right in the Rain pad. You're going to need to keep notes. There's a compass in there, some mechanical pencils. Mechanical pencils are better than pens or pencils. You don't need to worry about sharpening. So that's all that's in that pouch. Okay. Let's open it up. What's going to roll out of here first is the dog's toy. Take a toy for the dog because the dog has to be kept amused too in downtime. So, dog's water bottle. I don't know why she likes that water bottle, but she does. So, whatever helps her drink when she's moving, we'll do it. Dog's ball. She's got to have some amusement. 64-ounce water container. Wool socks. change of clothes. Now, in the change of clothes, back to pack light, freeze at night. Merino wool sweaters, wool socks. Wool keeps you warm even when it's wet. So wrapped up in here are merino wool layers, wool socks, a small pair of binoculars. You got to know where you're going. A cook set, again, containers. There's 2 containers here for water. You can boil it. With this, there's a stove in here. Fuel for that stove. And sleeping bag. Good to -20. And the sleeping bag is at the bottom because it's not the most important thing in the world. I've got that SOL survival blanket to get in out of the rain in a hurry. If once I'm set up, I want to get the sleeping bag out, I can do that. But just to get in out of the weather, the tarp and the emergency blanket are enough for that. So that somewhere in here, I guess it didn't get out. I was thinking, missing some stuff here. Front pouch. A personal pack for Teresa. 6 cups of dog food. Cutlery. And a grand total of 9 meals of different sorts. Most of it is military rations. So that is our go bag. If we had to leave the house right now, I'd be in trouble right this second because it's all unpacked. This stays where it can be grabbed in a hurry. No question about it. The pack is ready to go all the time. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. And also, by the back door is always a pair of hikers. Doesn't matter what we got on our feet, we're going to grab the hikers. I think every house needs one of these. So anyway, that's our go bags. The whole concept behind it: pack light, freeze at night. Not going to happen. We're good for 3 days, and that's the key. 72 hours. Some people call it a 72-hour bag for that very reason. We don't expect to have to survive in the woods forever. That's not the goal. That's not the plan. Our plan is to get, if we have to leave the house, our plan is to be able to survive on our own for 3 days without anybody's help. And that's where it is. So that's the go bag. Everybody is going to have a different idea what should be in their go bag, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. But certain fundamentals need to be across the board. Fire, shelter, and a container for boiling your water. Those are the fundamentals. And a first aid kit should always be there. So it doesn't matter what I have in my bag. It's neither right nor wrong. What goes in your bag is neither right nor wrong. It's your preference. But put a bag together. It doesn't need to be huge. Maybe you don't need 72 hours. Maybe you think you can get by on 24 hours, and that's fine too. But you should have one for everybody in the family. And then once you get it, once you put your pack together, you have got to walk with it. This is going to do you no good whatsoever if you put the perfect pack together and you can't carry it. There are some people that think you should carry, your pack should weigh 25% of your body weight or 20% of your body weight, and that's not fair. You take a 300-pound man who's out of shape and 25% of his body weight, you're looking at 75 pounds or more. He isn't going to last. You look at somebody that's completely out of shape and a 10-pound bag might knock them down. So you have to take a bag that is good for you. So whatever you pack, when you pack your bag, don't just set it in the corner. Go for a walk with it. Go for a hike with it. And don't make your hike on the sidewalks in town. That ain't going to do you any good. So get your pack together and then hike with your pack, because it's going to do you no good whatsoever to have a pack that you can't carry. So put your pack together. Don't use it. This first aid kit, I know what's in it. I update certain things that are in it, but this doesn't get used. We have a cut somewhere in the house or whatever. We don't use anything out of this for that. This is not a first aid kit. This is an emergency kit, and that's all it's used for. We don't steal out of the go bag ever. Anyway, that's what it is. There's the go bag. Put one together and have fun doing it. This is a project that takes time sometimes, but it's absolutely worth doing. So there you go. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate it. We appreciate your comments, whether they're good or bad. I hope they're good. But, thank you, and we'll see you next time.